I'm going to answer your creative writing questions to help you become a better writer. Your creative writing questions answered. Question number one: how do I establish a new writing routine? So this is a great question. When you're first starting out as a writer, you're going to want to sit down and start working on your stories based on what you're inspired by, or unless you're working on something for like an assignment for school, for instance. When starting a new writing routine, it would be like any of your other habits where the goal is consistency, right? So if you want to knock out like a short story or a novel, the only way to get there is you're going to have to write it in piece by piece by piece. Now, of course, you could wait till inspiration strikes and then go on like a 8-10 hour writing binge, and like that does work, and that is that can be successful. The only downside to that is that's not something that you can plan for. And then what happens a lot of time with writers is then they're waiting for inspiration to strike, and then maybe it comes once a week, couple times a week, couple times a month, and then it just kind of gets put off to the side. So here's my suggestion: when start writing small, pick 2 to 3 times a week where you really want to start improving your writing, and during those 2 to 3 times, only set a goal for like start writing for 20 minutes per se, something very easy. And if you have a story that you want to work on, of course, get started on your story. But if you're just wanting to improve at your writing during those first 2 to 3 days a week, pick a picture or go Google creative writing prompts online and use that for reference. Question number 2: what kind of weapons could you make with a sheet of enchanted parchment? All right, so I wanted to include a creative question for you guys today. All right, so I thought it would be fun to start including more just kind of like creative varieties for you instead of them all being just purely writing related. So let's say that you have a sheet of enchanted parchment paper. How are you going to make that into a weapon? Well, let me think. The first thing that comes to mind, and I think I've only been influenced because I'm actually working on a story with some other writers right now, and one of them specifically created a character that's actually kind of using the style. I would say sheet of parchment paper. As a writer, maybe I could use it as a power where I'm writing words or writing things into the page, and then suddenly it comes to life, and those things can become weapons. So kind of like it's used for writing. Or let's see, in a more literal sense, let's say that this is like a nonfiction story. I could should have enchanted. Oh no, yeah, it's definitely fiction. It's enchanted, of course. Let me think. You could. It's interesting because you could really use it for any number of things. Like you could use it to stretch out, and maybe you can like write pictures onto it, and then you can travel to those places. Or maybe you could. It has some sort of substance in it that you can use it to wrap around people and then use it as a more direct weapon. The thing is, with something like this, the only thing that limits you is your creativity. All right, there's a couple ideas for you. On to question number 3. How do you develop a new character for a WIP? And by the way, do you know what a WIP is? It's actually a very popular writing term for work in progress. All right. So, how do you develop a new character for a work in progress? So, when you're developing a story and you have the outline, you know the direction that you want to take, and let's say that you have your protagonist already and you have the antagonist, you have the two main characters. But as you're writing the world of the story, how do you come up with like new characters as it progresses? A really good strategy is you want to ask yourself, what if the hero is going to approach these obstacles or whatever challenges the hero is going to overcome, what types of characters, what types of ideas, what concepts would really help either support the hero in overcoming these challenges, or what types of things would make it more difficult for the hero? Because you always want to think about every obstacle that your hero faces. They either have to overcome it, do well, or not overcome it, and it sucks. And the things that help them with those types of obstacles are their companions and the other characters in the world. So when writing a new character, something that I like to do is I like to start from just like a very bare basic level. And I'm kind of thinking of this as like a supporting character if I'm writing a first draft. So what I'll do is I'll think of an idea. I'll think of what is an emotion or what is a thing that would really help the hero improve or either overcome this obstacle or fail at it tremendously. So let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you have a character who is a dog. I went with an animal reference. So let's say your main hero is a dog and they're trying to overcome an obstacle of not being caught by the evil dog whisperer. All right, that's what we're gonna go with. So right now I just have the heroes, the dog, let's say a dog Scotty, and the evil dog whisperer. So if I'm going to add an additional character into this, let's say there's a scene where the dog whisperer is lures Scotty into a trap and is about to catch him. Now, right as he's about to catch him, should he escape? Should he not escape? And I ask myself, in a moment like this, what type of character or what like value or emotion would make it really easy? What emotion or value would make it really, really difficult? Really easy. If he had a human character who could come in, drive in with the car and come save the day. What would make it really difficult? A character, let's say a poodle who gets in the way of everything and ends up getting caught instead. And those are just two different ideas, but you really want to think of like when you're writing supporting characters or other characters, how are they going to best support the story and the obstacles and the challenges that your character is going to overcome? Awesome. And then once you go from there, then you can start giving them, all right, I have this core idea for the scene or this part of the story. Then you can start building on traits, building on quirks. I always suggest giving like your supporting characters, like just like base them off. There's like a couple like emotions. What are the things you want the audience or the reader to feel when viewing or reading your story? That'd be my suggestion. If you're watching on the replay and this provided any value to you, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel or this stream. So that way you'll be notified when new streams and new videos come out. That's all the writing I have for you today. I'm Kauffman and I'll catch you on the morrow. Thanks again.